Division 5, ladies and gentlemen. Heroes Lounge. We got another best of 3 series on our hand. The amateur scene with Inequalis going up against the Tropic Avengers. On the left side, Jillian on Diablo with Balgur on Junkrat. We got Kenny on Whitemane. Sejra on Leoric, and Elzion is playing Vala with a puncturing arrow build. So we're getting an arrow build on Infernal Shrines, our first map. And then over on the right side, it is the Gas Lord. Air 2 on Gaslo for the Tropic Avengers. We got Jaded Dread on Sylvanas with the Pinnacle over here. Lucky Tiger is playing Jojo. We got Quirith on the Zebo. And Final Maker is playing Anduin with a Power Word Shield. Oh god, I find these Power Word thingies always amusing.
It's an amazing word. Shield. It starts with an S. It is a great word. Not many people use it. But it is amazing. I've been using it for years. It's fantastic. Shield. Starts with an S.
But yeah, so, well, we have that going for us on the red team side. Let's see what's happening with the blue team. I mean, at this point, you can just hope that they're not from Venezuela or anything of the sorts. Even though these guys are probably happy, so yeah, maybe it's the other way around. Either way. Vala needs to get some arrows in, so that's the first one. Get those hits hard. The problem, honestly, that you have with an arrow build on this map, while you can definitely play it, and it has been played by top players and HGC players in the past here on Infernal Shrines. One of the issues is, to an extent, that when you're fighting on the shrine itself, there's obviously a lot of minions around on the waves. You have the minions themselves too. You can, if you also spec into the level 7 talent, deal a bit more with the camps and claim them a bit faster. So there's definitely advantages, but we'll see how well this is going to be used by Inequalis here. It is Division 5, so it's the lowest division that we currently have in Heroes Lounge. We've been jumping all over the place in the last couple of days with Division 1, 2, 4, 5. Diablo going down here. Keep in mind that this is also impacting the level of play, impacting the hero choices, the draft choices, and also the builds. It's always kind of funny because every time somebody asks me about, which build should I use for a certain hero, where can I read up on this? My recommendation is always the same. Don't go for any of those silly websites that are trying to come up with builds all the time. I personally will always advocate for looking at the top players in a game and trying to mirror what they do. Now, obviously, with the caveat that some things work only on the top level. But generally speaking, the top players know how to play the game, and you can learn a lot from them. You might have to adjust your playstyle for certain builds a little bit, but generally speaking, they do it because it works and because it's been proven to be very, very effective. So you can't really go too wrong checking out what they do and try to emulate that while at the same time attempting to understand why they do what they do. But when I then send somebody to my YouTube channel, for example, and say like, hey, just check out the top players, take a little bit of a look at how they play, what kind of builds they're using here, and this is going to get you started. I always have to caveat these days and make sure that they're actually going not in one of the early rounds or into Division 5 games and watch those videos, but they actually go into the high-level tournaments and don't all of a sudden come copy just like some weirdo build that somebody throws out there. So yeah. That's one of the big ones. Vala, talking about builds, is actually now getting some stacks in. What we typically see on the lower level is that they make some very aggressive choices regarding vaults because they're trying to repeat the hit, get the extra stacks in, and just reset the cooldown. So we're going to see a little bit more of that, and it's exactly that's what's happening. But over here, the margin of error is, of course, much, much bigger, and this is why you can get away with some of those plays. And the stacks, they keep on coming. They're trying to take Sylvanas out, which hasn't really worked out. Junkrat went very, very deep for that, and they're all going full YOLO. I mean, honestly. Finally, somebody retreating a bit here. The two supports were already screaming at the top of the lungs in the backlines, like, retreat, go back, oh my god! And it's just crazy. So, yeah, at this point, it's getting wild here. They're all trying to fight for the first objective and the first Punisher, but things are escalating quite a lot at this point. So, yeah, shots are being fired. We got Leoric still playing around. Sylvanas has now gone into the haunting arrows. We have her on 72 stacks. Nazebo on 33. You might have noticed that nobody's actually rotating between the middle and the bot lane. They're all just 5-manning the objective. It's all just full-on brawl mode that we're getting from the two teams here. Division 5 at its finest. They try to go for the Gas Lord. Vala with hit after hit. 12 stacks for her. And that is the first kill for the blue team. They take down the Gas Lord. He's gone. And now on level 7, we're getting Frost Shot for Vala. Both of the teams with level 7. Red team has done a bit better on the objective initially, but now they're starting to fall behind, as Vala is still working more and more of her arrows in to try and get that extra damage. I gotta give some credit though to Sylvanas. I mean, the whole brawl situation is really working for her favor. So currently what we're getting is 100 stacks for her, and that's only after 5 minutes. So she is really making a big step towards that first quest reward. Punisher number 1 goes to Inequalis though. The blue team gets the first objective. Junkrat also, well, actually isolating Nazebo here, very nice, and shutting him down would make it harder for him to stack, of course, and that's exactly what they're doing. Nazebo is gone, and that leaves him right now with an uncompleted level 1 quest. He was about to lock that in, and we have 45 on the baseline, so we'll see how far they can go with this. Wall has been opened up, that's the only thing that they were able to do. On top of that, we now got the Lucky Tiger up at the front, down at the bottom of the map. Yeah, Leoric still playing his janitor duties and taking the trash out. 1 minion at a time. On the damage side, we got 17,000 for Junkrat, 18,000 for Sylvanas, the top 2 DPS in the game. Experience is still fairly even between the two teams. And Nazebo is going for the next camp here. Should probably orientate himself a little bit farther down to the bottom of the map and try and work his stacks in. Get that baseline going and make sure that you're getting Vile Infection stacks later, towards the later stages of the game. Right now, we are not even on level 10 yet. He's sitting at 50, so it's roughly done with a third of the quest requirements. But, hey, time will tell. Yeah, Junkrat. Okay, gets hit here. Vala also trying to get a bit closer for some additional arrows, but couldn't. Still has the angle here. Yeah, connects one. Nice. Vaults immediately forward and connects the next one. Works the damage in slowly and steadily. Level 10 abilities on both sides now. We get Apoc and we got the Divine Reckoning for Whitemane. With Entomb, Entomb plus the Apocalypse could definitely wreck them a bit here. We got the Gravel Bomb for Gazlo. And here comes the engage with the Apocalypse. Very well done by Jillian. Damn, Diablo with a really cool move here. And that led to the annihilation of Sylvanas. 3 kills to 1 now in favor of Inequalis. The blue team with a very, very nice action around the mid lane. So that worked out well. Zebo at the top. A little bit of health for additional stacks. Plus shield for Jojo. And now they're trying to push the bottom of the map. Minion wave already gone. They get their own in. Yeah, that's a pretty big one, by the way. That's an Inspire buff and a half, and the red team is very, very late to the party. They're losing the entire wall without any counter damage. That's a problem right there. So they're doing their best, I guess, but they did not anticipate that at all. Leo is trying to slow down Zebo a little bit, and hello? He's gonna get that kill. Yeah. Nazebo is gone. Leoric, camp is at least taken, and Leoric is gonna survive. Wow. I mean, losing him wouldn't have been a problem. Losing Whitemane hurts a lot more, so they should have probably let this one slide. Vala at least can use the fight to get some more stacks, but now after Whitemane was taken down, they're also losing Junkrat, so that's a problem. So, yep, there it is. With that said, Leo, come on, dude. They sacrificed themselves for you. You can't die now. No. Yeah, that guy is just skin and bones. So, down to the bottom of the map. Diablo taking position. By now we have each team on 4 kills. Vala with 20 stacks. Sylvanas and also Nazebo a little bit slower now. Nazebo is still not completed his level 1 quest, by the way. This is probably his best chance, since we're now talking about the fight itself. So, we'll see. I mean, at this point, we have big opportunity with Diablo engaging with the Apocalypse. Once again, the Gravel Bomb is there. Stuns as a follow-up. Good work from Gazlo. Not leading to a kill yet, But they are starting to go for Sylvanas again, and she gets bullied around quite significantly as Vala is working in more hits. The problem is that Diablo is about to be gone. He's down, so is Leoki. Both of them gone, but at least Dibbles will be back in a moment. Problematic is that now the red team is in full control of the objective and they get the Punisher. Anduin went into push forward as his level 13 talent choice. And now the aggression through the mid lane, the opportunity for the Tropic Avengers to get some work done here. If you want to avenge people, you always want to do it in a tropical environment. I absolutely agree. If you go for the Winter Avengers and you end up in Siberia or something like that, it's not really that nice. So yes, if you can do that in a tropical environment, then hey, you should definitely do it. It's just much nicer. Have a couple of beaches around, can sip a margarita every now and then. So I totally endorse that. Top side, Leoki has gone down again. They're still pushing here. We have 72 stacks for Nazebo. Not really too great. But the good news is that Sylvanas is really getting her numbers up. She's at 213 now, so only 37 away from getting the quest reward. After the fort was destroyed in the middle of the map, the Tropic Avengers now able to do also some damage at the top. And over here, it's Vala without her level 7, without Monster Hunter, still contributing quite a bit. Siphoning arrows is what we're getting, which means that, of course, now we're going to have a little bit more of a sustain. Vala just working around self-sustain. That also makes it a bit easier for white main, I'd say. And we'll see in the teamfights how this is going to go for them. On the damage output, we have Junkrat still in the top slot together with Sylvanas. The two of them still fighting their little battle here with 33,000 on each side. Vala on 23,000, same as Nazebo. Leo also very high up here, as is Gazlo. I mean, both of them have been doing a great job with Leoki getting that solo kill earlier. Here comes the Gravel Bomb again. A lot of them getting very dangerous, but it's Sylvanas that falls once more. Whitemane with great heals here, and they were able to keep everybody alive. Fantastic job. Gazlo was so close to getting some kills, but now it's 5 kills to 7, and there is also a camp pushing at the top, so this could actually threaten the fort even further, which is why we're now seeing the red team rotating up to deal with it. 26 stacks for Vala. She's definitely slowed down a bit. 85 for Nazebo. Yeah, 15. Level 15 is in. We're now 12 minutes into the game. Nazebo is a bit slow here. I think it would really benefit him to keep him on lanes and rotate a bit. Typically when you have Nazebo in a situation like this, you see him rotate between the off lanes for at least a short period of time just to boost that baseline quest a bit further and get to a point where you can work around level 20 with it. But it's not quite out of reach yet. Unlikely, though, that as 20 hits, they're going to get it. That's one of the problems. Vala, once she hits Acrobat, she can stack a lot more aggressively. We'll see how they're going to do with this. Top side, yeah, Nazebo, they're getting a few more stacks for him, so yeah, at least he's crossed over into the triple digits. 101 stacks for now. And we'll have another objective at the top lane that both of the teams are very likely going to fight for, because 16 should be ready for Inequalis. They've been falling behind in experience a little bit. Take a look also at the experience gains, of course. Passive XP is slowly being extended. Hero experience, mercenary, minion experience. I mean, everywhere you look, the Avengers are slightly advantaged. Just by a bit, but it adds up, of course. So now we have level 16 talents. That gives us Manticore. Also a big step for Vala. Could have seen them with Seething Hatred here, given the build that we've now observed. But Manticore is still mega strong. And we have also Joja at the front. Can of course work with the blinds a little bit, so it's a bit of a counterplay. And the blue team is trying to take control here. So Leo, a little bit low. Yeah, Diablo, Apocalypse. And he hits 2. 2 quick stuns. Jojo comes in, Riptire gets interrupted, Entomb out, and Ice Block from Nazebo used as well. But look at that Gazlo setup. Sets them up, gets the kills. Leo down, Whitemane dead, Diablo gone. He at least will be back, but that was exactly what the Avengers needed. A beautiful fight for them, set up by the Gazlord himself. And that puts them in the driver's seat for objective number 3. And of course, on top of that, they have now also extended the lead in experience to an entire level. So they are looking strong here. That top 4 should fall. And we already have Gaslo dealing with the side lanes. Sylvanas, she's getting dangerously close to the 250 stacks that she needs here for the extra damage. So, yeah, this is going to be very, very good for the Avengers from here on out. Blue team, they need some kills, and at least here, they shouldn't be able to get them all that easily. They got white main back. Vala has 31 stacks, so once that she unleashes on a single target, that is a significant amount of damage that she gets out there. I mean, again, with 31 stacks, we're currently looking at 350 to 400 extra damage that she's working in on a single target, so that's nice, but they need a lot more than that, and with Gaslo just nailing these setups, Inequalis is losing one hero after another, and this is becoming more and more of a problem for them. In comes the jump. Yeah, they're getting pushed around here. With white main gone again, they also have to be very careful with, for example, Diablo. Vala hasn't connected a single arrow since then. She's just trying to deal with the objective, trying to deal with the Punisher, who has now full access to the entire top lane and can jump in as well. If you get stunned out by that, you're likely gone. 280, 290, nearly 300 stacks now for Sylvanas. Sylvanas is absolutely working it now. Damn, girl. Yeah, she's crushing it. Sylvanas is totally crushing it, and it gets reflected in numbers too. They are going through them like hot butter through cheese here at the top lane. I mean, they murdered everything. And now that we're having 12 kills to 5, they're even centering around the core for just a moment. They're playing it safe and start to retreat again. But they were definitely thinking about trying to push it here. Junkrat still with the top numbers at 63,000. Truth is simply that it's not enough. High damage numbers don't do anything for you if you're not able to get the kills. And of course that 2-level gap between the teams is not great for Inequalis either. That's another problem that they have right here, right now. So we got 12 kills to 5. More camps to be claimed. And yeah, Nazeebo, 120 stacks, as they are about it, level 20. So it looks more and more like he's simply going to upgrade his Gargantuan. Upgrade Gary. Oh, and we get Varian's Legacy. Anduin acting like he gives a shit about his father. And he absolutely doesn't. Never respected him. And so, yeah. He just besmirches his legacy over and over again by being such a little crybaby. But, yep, we have the upgrade on level 20 for Nazeebo, as you would expect. And this is the time of suffering for Inequalis. Time to suffer. 2 levels where they miss out on the 20, on the Storm Talons. And Sylvanas just crushing it. She's 150 stacks short of getting the 400, where you then also have the heal. So, yeah. All about the self-sustain at this point, but the extra damage is already noticeable. Leo's at the top, trying to get them some experience. Sylvanas doing work the entire time down here at the bottom of the map as they're breaking through the next wall. And yeah, they're pushing in with the few remaining minions that they have. And of course the camps to try and keep number 2 out. Nazeebo with a quick wall, and it's looking great. Yeah, 386 stacks. Sylvanas is nearly there. They go into the fight, and they're about to take down Leoki again. He is gone. Leoric is dead. Sylvanas fully done now with a pinnacle reward. They lose Gaslo though. All hail the Gas Lord. He didn't deserve that, but it is what happened. Vala was getting herself a few more stacks, but as I said before, this is not really something that they're going to write home about. They're sitting at 36 stacks. If they get to 20, she gets Acrobats. If she doesn't go Farfly Quiver to try and capitalize on the 16 without an auto attack build. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. For now, we got the Shrine activating. Half a level away from 20. I don't think they can bridge that. They haven't taken a single fort out, by the way. Not a single fort has been destroyed yet by Inequalis. They're having trouble here in game number 1 of the best of 3 series. So, Leo is back. Yeah, there's the Entomb. And immediately they're jumping back out again. Now, Sylvanas with damage. Look at Diablo. Look at Diablo. He has no chance here. Leoki is moving away too. They can't take that fight. Vala is trying to hit a few more shots, but they are just eating damage all day, every day. Even with Gazlo gone. The Blessed Shield doesn't connect. So yeah, that ult went nowhere. Sylvanas is now 65,000 damage. Junkrat's still way ahead of her, but it doesn't matter. In the top lane, triple catapults are now moving towards the core. They stopped them in time. The problem is that I'm not sure they can stop the Mortar Punisher, which is now going to be claimed at the bottom of the map. Vala with Acrobat on level 20. So now for the defense, they have that. Can they defend the core? That's a very, very different question, because that bottom lane is open. The keep is low, below 50% HP. And maybe with a monster entomb they could turn this around. We got some crazy comebacks in the previous HeroesLounge matches. So who knows? Maybe they can pull something off here. But they gotta throw everything they have now against the Avengers. And the Avengers are of course going to try and very quickly destroy him here. Diablo is fully stacked. If he dies, he'll be back. He's gonna go full Arnie. I'll be back. And yeah, 13 kills to 6. So, there we go. Vala, ooh, gets stunned, gets jumped. And then Jojo wanted to follow up on it. But that's already the end of the keep. And now it's just time to try and take that core down. And they are throwing everything in here. Yeah, this is game. There's just way too much damage. Absolutely no chance of salvaging this anymore. Junkrat goes down too, so that makes matters worse. 92,000 damage for him, but the core is down to 30%. Gazlo gets murdered. Core at 20. Core at 10. Everybody dead or dying, and this is the lead in the best of 3 series. For the Tropic Avengers, ladies and gentlemen. They take the victory on Infernal Shrines. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. The Avengers are in the lead, and we'll find out if Inequalis can push this to game number 3. On the left, now that we're heading into Garden of Terror, our second map, we have Jillian on Anduin, Kenny on Deathwing, Elzion is playing Liming, we got Sejra on Jojo, and Balgua on Junkrat. I think a little bit more interesting is what the Avengers are currently trying to pull off here. They went in game number 1 for Gazlo, and that actually worked out really well. Some very nice setups. But now they're going for Valeera. So they are really just going for the bottom of the barrel here with the hero choices. Jaded Dread on Valeera, Stardust on Sonya, Atu on Ophir, Kurith on Stukov, and the Lucky Tiger is playing ETC. On level 1 we get the Laws of Hope for Jojo. Kenny is a very special butterfly with that particular tint combo right there. Honestly, it just looks a little bit like you went into a pretty well-equipped and well-stocked drug cabinet and you just went ham and just downed everything that you could find, and this is kind of the trip that you ended up with. So I assume that's also how that skin was created, by the way. That would be my personal my personal theory on that. We might never know. But yeah, so top side, this is where we're now getting Deathwing against Sonya. So a little bit of Barbarian Slam Bam that we're getting from her. And over on the right side is all about the camps. That's one of the changes I definitely liked in the recent patches, that we now have the mercenary camps spawn sooner. Definitely a good change. Made the game a little bit faster at the beginning, just shaving some of those, a couple of those seconds in the early game off that weren't necessarily needed there. So now a couple of camps already taken again. Valeera still rushing around. I am really curious to see if they can make her work. If you can go for Liming and then unleash combo, or maybe on Anduin, yeah, it's definitely potential. But generally, she is a trash tier for a reason. And, well, is also first blood in the game. So much for that. Yeah, bit unfortunate, but that was a really nice play also from Junkrat, so kudos. Yeah, he basically made sure that they were able to get that first kill. Deathwing, all alone at the top lane, goes straight for a bit of a terror. and burns down the entire wave. So one of the things, by the way, that I learned in Spain, apparently Spanish elephants are different from German elephants. Completely ignoring for the fact that both countries don't have elephants, unless you go to a zoo. But if you're a kid and anybody is telling you about an elephant in Germany, oh my god, what happened with that? What happened with that siege giant? What was going on there? That guy was completely destroyed. Jesus, all that hate for a simple siege giant. Calm down, boys. That was ruthless. That thing got killed 50 times and then went straight to heaven, apparently. Alright, back to the elephant story, though. So in Germany, when you're telling a kid anything about a giant, the sound... not giant, the elephant. The sound that an elephant makes is... Benjamin Blümchen, right? In Spain, elephants apparently make Turu, which I think is a little bit weird and strange, but hey, that's apparently Spanish elephants. So, yeah. I'm keeping with the German elephants. They make way more sense to me. Has nothing to do with the fact that I grew up in Germany. Everybody should go for Terror. Terror is just way better. Terror! Turu! Turu is just like... When I hear Turu, I think like some candy or something. Like, I don't know. So yeah, Spain is weird, is what I'm trying to say here. Either way, with everybody going for the seed, which is actually something I didn't really expect, we have a lot more team fighting this early on than I had on my card. So 7 stacks so far for Laws of Hope. We also got the Relentless Strikes in on Valeera. And well, it seems like the blue team is going to get the seed here after all. Another thing that's also quite interesting, I actually went through a couple of the old videos on my YouTube channel, and I did ages ago, I actually did still a video to teach people how to open a banana. The reason is very simple. I learned myself that I opened bananas the wrong way my entire life. That was 11 years ago. And then I made a video about it, and many people, many more people than I could ever expect, like 30, 40,000 actually watched that thing, and now know how to open a banana. And it seems to be a question of where you're from, because half the people commented and were like, oh my god, my life has been a lie, and their lives were changed forever for the better. And the other ones, they were like, that's of course how you do it. So yeah, it was very interesting. And the interesting part was that my dad, it has nothing to do with gaming, has a friend, and apparently they talked about stuff, and he showed my friend a picture of me. I don't know what the reason was. And his friend was apparently, oh, is that the banana guy? So he saw the video, but had no idea who that was. The world is a small place sometimes. But yeah, that video is still on my channel. Could teach you how to open a banana properly. And I have to say very proudly, ever since I was told, I have never opened a banana again any other way. It's just what it is. And then shortly after that, I also learned that I eat apples the wrong way. But that's at least a little bit of, I suppose... I mean... that I would say is personal preference, but it's still interesting. So yeah, you all of a sudden start to question everything. Who am I and how many? Only a single kill so far. We're 5 minutes in. It seems like at least on the seed count, Inequalis is doing a little bit better. So the blue team, after their recent loss on Infernal Shrines, is now eager to push for game 3. They have only gotten a single kill thanks to Junkrat, but they are doing very well on the objective. So having 2 out of the 2 seeds thus far is definitely giving them a very nice position in this. Now, down at the bottom of the map, that's where we now have still Kenny in action. Good old Deathwing. Level 7 talents on both sides. Obviously now the Mutilate for Valeera. I am still very curious to see if they can make her work. And my general, I mean my gut response would be no. But, well, as I say that, there's value. Viable. They're taking down Li Ming. Sonya dies and the camp is still lost, but hey, they got a kill. It was a trade, they lost some time here, but still fine. Problem is that now the red team is rather low in 8. No, not like this. No. like, if I close my eyes, they can't see me. If I just close my eyes, they can't see me either. If I can't see them, they can't see me.
Oh my god. I'm invisible.
Yeah. Not that much.
Division 5, never change. It's Wood League.
And I'm here for it. Level 10 abilities on both sides now. We got level 11 here and we get Leap. Sonya is going to go for the big whoa as they defended the mid lane. The fort at the bottom of the map is already gone. At the top, they are still dishing out the damage. But the blue team, not even thinking about moving in the middle. They're just going down to the bottom of the map and they're saying, you know what, boys? Let's go. Oh, we have no fear in this game. I haven't even seen her. Air2, were you hiding as well? I was like, yeah, so apparently there's no fear in this game too. I haven't seen a lot of slaps going on here. I haven't seen anything. What's the damage output? Ophia is sitting at top damage dealer. Alright. Hiding in the shadows a little bit. Going full sneaky ninja on us. But yeah, we indeed have an Ophia. So Ophia against Sylvanas is going to be the battle. By the way, we have also, in case you haven't noticed it yet, a falling sword play for Jojo. Which is something that Stukov in particular is not going to like at all. He's going to be the one that gets jumped most of the time. And yeah, Valeera went into the smoke bomb. 3 kills to 1 so far. So Valeera is slowly moving back. The camp is taken once again. We have roughly a 1 level gap between the two teams. And the first objective did a bit of work. Not enough. 1 fort down. Second one at the top has taken damage. And I suppose Deathwing can eventually murder it, but hey. And they are starting to invade here. Also talking about Jojo, she's now sitting at 20 globes. So that's a pretty decent heal amount that she gets here. If Jojo gets this up more and more, then she is going to get a huge heal boost through that active. And that can really help to also take the pressure off Anduin. So yeah, Jojo should be fine here. Deathwing, look at that. Comes in. Nice. Scorched Earth. Right there. Camp about to be taken. Both try to claim it, and it is a steal. Nice. Well done. And they're trying to go for... Oh, leap into the back line. And they're getting away. It's, by the way, funny to me. I don't really know why. But whenever we are seeing an engage with a falling sword from Johanna, I expect her to follow it up with a blessed shield. It's not a thing, obviously. You have to make a choice. But am I the only one that sometimes has that? You see Jojo jumping in and then she's, you know, like in the middle of the team and you're like, oh my god, that blessed shield is gonna wreck them. And there were so many times when I was literally waiting for that blessed shield just to facepalm a moment later and realize, she has taken the different ult. That's why she's in that spot in the first place and why she could jump there. It would be pretty funny though if there was like a fun mode for ARAM that every now and then unleashes where you get both ults. Just imagine for a second you would get both ults on level 10. Which hero would actually benefit from that the most? Could even be Jojo. Oh, is she gonna survive that? Ah, look at that! Our girl is scrappy. Jumps out with less than 50 HP. Fort in the mid lane has, by the way, gone down. I showed it earlier. And now we have those 4 siege giants doing even more damage. Those siege giants are absolutely brutal. I don't really know if the Avengers realize how much they're losing there. They're losing that wall too if they don't send somebody back. The siege giants are going to take that minion wave out and then they're going to drop that wall. So yeah, 1 tower down, gate down, and they're going to take the rest. They might even push for the keep itself. That's kind of crazy. Those siege giants have been murdering. And now, talking about murdering things, Sonya has to jump out. Valeera is doing what she does best. She dies again. And over here, we might see some damage on the keep. They're defending this now, but this was way too much damage, all in all. Seeds, not a single one has been taken by the Tropic Avengers. Every single seed so far has gone to Inequalis. We got Deathwing at the bottom of the map to deal with those siege giants. On the damage numbers, we now have Deathwing on 29,000. 17,000 for Ophia. And at the top side, they're still kicking stuff around here. But the blue team is doing a bit better in this game. They are still leading in experience, they're leading in kills. They have taken 2 forts out, so the passive experience increase is also in their favor. Yeah, and on top of that, Valeera is just not doing enough. She got 1 good kill against Liming earlier. But ever since then, yeah, not much. 4 deaths on the red team side. 3 against Valeera. Not really the stats you're looking for. That's a number you want to have low, not high. And there goes the final fort. All 3 forts have now been destroyed. The final ring of defense is gone. And yep, it's time for the next seed. And this time it's spawning into a more neutral position again. And the red team, they're about to hit level 16. So this should actually be a freebie for them. They're going to pull ahead with 2 seeds to 0 once more, taking 5 in a row. They might not want to fight here just yet though, but for some reason they do. Deathwing comes in. Yeah, and it works out regardless from the looks of it. Smoke bomb is being used. Okay, Junkrat a little bit low. They're trying to go for Sonya again. Ah, Valeera! Value! Okay. Jaded Dread gets a kill. Valeera with a kill, and the blue team has to retreat. They might just have lost that seed. Which is a bit strange when you think about it. They could have just played this slow until they have level 16 talents. So, yeah. That would have been, I think, a little bit more advantageous for them to just play this slow, get 16. Now they have the talent, but they don't have Anduin. Valeera! Oh, together with Sonya, she's going full tag team on Li Ming and gets a kill there. They take down Valeera, but the channel is about to happen, and it does, just before Deathwing can interrupt it. So this is the first seed now for the Tropic Avengers. I guess the red team might start a comeback here after all. They're getting some damage in. Some kills and slowly start to work this. So yeah, good for them. With that said and done, let's see what else we're now getting. Because we have top side, the next seed spawning, and this position is of course a bit more advantageous for the red team. But can they take advantage of that and grab themselves the next seed and threaten the objective or not? Level 16 talents on both sides. Should have, by the way, pointed out also that Li Ming apparently does not respect Valeera whatsoever and decided on level 13 to go for Glass Cannon. So, yeah, going up against Leap and Valeera, we can argue about whether or not that is the smartest choice, but they are going to try and target her, of course. 32 stacks for Jojo, which obviously means that you're now also in a situation where you have a really nice self-heal. It's an added 15% to what it gives you in the first place. Channel has happened, so now they're threatening the Garden Terrors. Deathwing tried to engage and interrupt, was a bit late to that. So now it's 5 kills to 5, and the game is all of a sudden even. I mean, all of a sudden we're really there, right? Even game between the two teams, more or less. They're really closing in on this. And yeah, it's gonna get interesting. 100%. So, let's see. For now, we have the red team back to business. And with the next set of Garden Terrors, since they're scaling, of course, also into the late game, they have a shot now of getting some work done and taking an objective, taking some of the structures out. They're still behind, but they have at least eliminated the one at the bottom of the map. And here comes the seed. Good position. Deathwing with the superhero landing. That's always appreciated. And off we go. It's party time! First moment of truth here. Can they grab it? Well, I'm trying to engage somehow. Valeera goes all the way around. Looking for Li Ming more so than anything else. Finds Junkrat. Goes for him. And Junkrat unimpressed. Gets the heal. Is totally fine. And they're starting to push him back here. Light bomb. And they start to go for ETC who falls. Sonya barely survives. I'm not quite sure what Valeera is trying to do here. 1 against 3 all by yourself might not have been the smartest decision that she made today. So it's not only Stukov that dies in the aftermath of the battle, but then also Valeera. So that's 3 down in total. And that's another seed for the blue team. And all of a sudden it's 2 seeds to 2, or it will be. And of course, with only 2 heroes surviving on the side of the Tropic Avengers, there's plenty of camps to be claimed. Yep. Next one could also be taken up here at the top. 8 kills to 5. And they're stealing this one too. Ophia, get the hell out of there. Or you're going to be in a world of pain. So Siege Giants get taken. There's another camp up at the top. Or they can push through the bottom of the map. There's not really that much time. 10 seconds until Stukov is back. Same for Valeera. So only limited what they can do with this. But the shots, they keep coming. And at least there's some damage on the keep. Won't be able to drop it, but hey. Every little bit that you can do now is going to make it easier if you eventually get objectives pushing the lanes again. And they still have, of course, also their Bruiser camp, and they're sieging up on this. It's half a level until 20. The lead in experience is now at 1.5 levels, which is quite significant. And they got that keep down to 50% of its HP. Valeera is still hiding in the back. Mosh pit, baby! And they try to go for Li Ming again, but the heals are there. Li Ming is alive. Glass cannon or no glass cannon. Very heavy pressure against the blue team now, and it's the end of Junkrat as Valeera comes in and delivers the final blow. But ETC gets also crushed. ETC is gone. Yeah, Jojo is also dead. Anduin gets attacked and will fall, is going to die as we have the big slap from Ophia. The keep in play hasn't been destroyed. Level 20 soon, and there is now a seat up on top. This is really where the blue team potentially screwed up, because now we have a situation going where they have 3 heroes off the map, and this could be Garden Terrors. And once that the red team gets Garden Terrors, they have a shot at actually pushing this back out, try and take some structures apart. This is the real risk here. Look at the minimap. All of the lanes are so heavily pushed out. If they could apply more pressure, if the blue team could just hold on to this and wouldn't have died before they hit level 20, that's a different story. But now Ophia gets killed. Ophia gets killed by Li Ming, who's trying to get away here, is escaping for just a moment, but then gets murdered. We will have a few of the heroes come back in a second, but I'm not quite sure how long Deathwing can actually sustain himself there. They will pressure the lanes through those minion waves, though. There's a catapult at the bottom of the map that is already doing some work, and another minion wave is coming in, but Garden Terrors are now going to spawn. Deathwing can't interrupt this anymore. It was a nice little play taking Ophia down here, but still, Li Ming died shortly after. Garden Terrors are, of course, now coming in, but 18.5 minutes into the game, the catapults are already doing some damage. It's not going to take it down because of the Garden Terrors, but still, that's a lot of damage on that keep. And the defenders are in position. They are ready for this. Garden Terror at the bot lane is going to take a long time until it appears in the middle. That's the next one right there. We got 39 stacks, by the way, for Jojo. So she is going to get a lot through this. She already has 20% baseline. And she gets another 20%. It's 40% of a heal. That's actually huge. It's a gigantic heal. It's not going to take much longer for her to get her own pocket ancestral, pretty much. Both teams now on level 20, so we're going down to the final blows here. Top off is in, and we get the Eldritch Conduit. Garden Terror at the top, attacked, and will probably be defended against. As Valeera is still angling for a potential kill. Her damage output is at 30,000 currently, 42,000 for Ophia, 65k for Deathwing. I mean, damn. Defense in the middle, strong. Top lane, Deathwing has dealt with it. Deathwing has dealt with the top lane and has made that work. Now we're all down at the bottom of the map where the last of the Garden Terrors is pushing in. Yeah, they try for Junkrat. Oh, close call. Leap and kill. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Inequalis is in trouble. Inequalis is in real trouble all of a sudden. Garden Terrors breaking through the bot lane, and this could be keep. Now, well, Junkrat is gone, but the Garden Terror is basically defeated too. They're going to be fine here. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I don't think that the Tropic Avengers are going to be too happy with the outcome here. Because they didn't take a single structure out, at least not a big one. They destroyed maybe a few towers, but no fort, no keep has fallen. I don't know why the blue team feels the need to now engage into them, since they are down one hero for another 20 seconds, so I wouldn't really chase this if I was them. But for some reason they seem to think that they can pull this off. Valeera is already waiting for her big moment. Especially, of course, with Li Ming speccing into Glass Cannon earlier. But 6 seconds until Junkrat is back. Ophia, alright. We got vision on her. There's the attack. And I'm not so sure about what exactly Valeera thinks she's doing here. Yeah, Valeera gets hit. You know exactly where she is right now. The only question is, can they get close enough? And I say, oh, that little bit of movement speed at the end. That was dangerous. Yeah, Valeera is still looking for that hero moment where he just blows the target the Kingdom Come and is able to give the team a big lead. But the defense against the Garden Terrors was solid. It was a really strong defense. Now we have that extra 20% of a heal for Jojo. So as mentioned before, the cooldown reduction that she now gets on level 20 is obviously amazing as well. I mean, Heaven's Fury is one of the talents that really, really makes this work. If you're going into the big fights and you just get 3-4 ults out, you're doing damage. Really interrupting the opponent. Camp at the top could become a little bit of a problem. Then again, they only took this, so the catapult over here is also still pushing. But we now have the next seed coming up, and let's not forget that Inequalis still is holding on to 2. So if they get now the 3rd seed, this would be the 2nd objective for them. And we're 22 minutes in. Blizzard has multiple times increased the scaling of the Garden Terrors and also made the Garden Terrors in general stronger. So now this late in the game, if you get Garden Terrors, they are gonna do damage. They are going to definitely hurt. 10 kills to 10. It's a really close second game. The Avengers took game number 1, but it's now all about whether or not the blue team can bring this one to a 3rd map. Yeah, Valeera. Big hit. Big hit from Li Ming. And Valeera is actually killed by Junkrat. Valeera down. The bottom keep, talking about things that got downed here. The bottom keep has also been destroyed. So now the wave is making it towards the core. They're still chasing. They can still get the seed. ETC tried with the mosh pit, got immediately interrupted. And now they have a big shot at getting the Garden Terrors. And of course the question is, are they pushing directly through the bot lane for core? And, well, I guess they're not. I could have totally seen them trying to be aggressive here, but they went back, defended the middle of the map, and are taking this very, very slow right now. Focusing way more on destroying a second keep in the middle of the map than trying to damage the core itself. But I talked about it. We are in the late game. These things scale, they scale hard, and they are hurting a lot more. So this one alone, look how long it takes them to just take that thing down. They have 4 heroes down here, and it's a problem. And in the middle of the map, you can kiss that keep goodbye. There's absolutely no way of holding this. This keep is gonna get destroyed. The bigger question is what happens at the top lane. Lucky Tiger alone is not going to be able to do anything here. The wall is already destroyed, which means that going for the triple keep is an option. They don't even have to attack the keep, just attack the core. The Garden Terror alone is going to take that out with ease. So, yeah, core is getting attacked too. And all ends when I was seeing the red team under pressure. The Avengers with real trouble. Deathwing gets killed. First time that he's gone. But the core is losing hit points. And it's losing hit points pretty quickly. I mean, that thing is down to 60% as the topside keep falls. And if Inequalis just right-clicks the core, they have this. Just right-click the core at this point and you are golden. That's all that you gotta do. 29%. Yeah, they have this. They got this in the back. Garden Terror is destroyed. 10% on the core. Here comes Jojo with the damage, and she's going to finish it off. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to game number 3. The final map coming up between the Tropic Avengers and Inequalis. GG.
Coming up next, we have game number 3 for you guys. Before we go, a big shout out to everybody that is supporting the channel on patreon.com/Khaldor. Really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you very, very much. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene live with all of the events and tournaments that we're hosting, then please consider to check out patreon.com/Khaldor and support the channel there. It's the best way to support all of the things that we're currently doing for the scene and plan to do in the future. With that being said, enjoy the next game of the series.
The final map of the series, Tomb of the Spider Queen. On the left for the 3rd time. Inequalis in blue with Jillian on Anubarak. We got Kenny on Anduin, Balgo on Junkrat. Sejra is playing Thrall. Pinnacle quest rewards incoming. And Elsion is playing Orphea for the blue team. Over on the right side, it is Air2 on Falstad. More Pinnacle quests. We got Jaded Dread on Sylvanas. Lucky Tiger on Mal'Ganis. Stardust is playing Sonya. And we got Rhaegar played by Bloodwrath. So we actually get Gathering Storm here on level 1. Trying to go into the Hammerang with the Pinnacle rewards here. For Thrall, we would expect Maelstrom Weapon. But this is Division 5 after all. So we might see a different path for him. And indeed he does. He goes into Echo of Elements over here. So it's first and foremost him trying to get some reduction on the mana costs, trying to then get the additional bounce and the charge in, and then later on it's going to be even more of a fork. So yeah, right there, different approach from Thrall, not going into that big damage that we get with the Maelstrom weapon in most of the higher competitive level tournaments. We're having down at the bottom of the map, yeah, Thrall still sitting tight. He's getting some work done over here, as you can already see. With Sonya being that delayed, he could have honestly played this a little bit better and get some real big boost towards his first stack progress. But now he's taking them essentially one at a time whenever the cooldown is ready. But could have definitely done a bit more there. Now, we're keeping our eye out on Falstad, of course, as well. Getting the damage in after 30 is already big, and then having after 80 another damage increase is pretty massive. You can get real nice burst damage out with this if you are following up, well, reliably on this and diligently. So, right now, we'll see. Also, a little bit of a news on the Nations Cup front. We have a few more teams that signed up now. I think I spoke about some of them. But we have a team from Serbia that now signed up as well. The French have signed up 2 teams. UAE is going to participate here. And the Ukrainian team has by now signed up as well. So I think in total we have currently 9 teams that are signed up. There's roughly 2 weeks left, I believe, where teams can sign up for this. And obviously sign-ups are open. People actually asked about this, so you can find all of the information on the Discord. Link is in the description of the video if you happen to watch this on YouTube. And I believe there's also a direct link to the tournament itself. So yeah, make sure to check it out. Rhaegar was trying to check out the bot lane a bit. I didn't find a lot. The only thing that he found is a lot of hurt and pain, as Orphea slapped him around and took him down. Tropic Avengers won the first map, so yeah, if they now lose here, that would probably be a bit of a bitter taste, because in Equalis, they are continuing where they left off in game number 1. 11 stacks now for Thrall. We have Sylvanas with Haunting Arrows. And in the middle of the map, the brawls just continue with Falstad also trying to get more and more Hammerang stacks. Yeah, and is able to work quite a few in here. So he's sitting on 30 already. It's all about the damage increase currently. Updraft fairly quickly here, so you now have the shield too. It's all about positioning for Falstad and having some extra mobility, at least for now. With all of that said and done, there's only one team in the game that has turned in at least a few of their gems, and that is in Equalis. They delivered 17, still holding 24, as they're waiting for the first objective. Thrall just getting one hit in after another, wants to get the extra utility out of his talent, whereas everybody else is essentially more interested in building damage here. So, yeah, that's what we're getting. But they are doing some more work. So, in the case of Falstad, Falstad would really be the one that you would expect in these fights. I mean, with his level 1 talent, that's kind of what you want. Especially with Mal'Ganis just teeing everybody up and putting them to sleep. That's easy stacks for the birdie, but he's been totally focused on the top lane so far and just dealing with all of the gems that they were getting there. They now have enough to get a full turn in. 31 have already been delivered, and he's now dealing with a final few. Interrupt, to an extent successful, but not all that much. Falstad was still able to turn in, and now Sonya, down at the bottom of the map, is going to complete it. Thrall is a bit too late to the party. Didn't see that one coming, wasn't suspicious, and now we get Web Weavers for the Tropic Avengers. So, yeah, more attacks. 1 kill, 2-0. 1 kill is all that we got in this game. But Falstad, he's sitting on 16, so he's halfway there to the first quest reward for extra damage. Manubarak with a bed of barbs and the subterranean shield. And in comes Sylvanas, enhancing that push, enhancing that power even further. Thrall tries to help out, misses the wolf, has not gone into his level 4 stacks, by the way. And now we'll see if Falstad can capitalize on this. Atro is a little bit low. Big dive there forward. That's the perfect opportunity right there, but he's on cooldown, gets the hit, and they get the kill, and Nubarak drops the gems and is dead. 25 stacks now for Falstad. Yeah, it's working really well here. It has Boomerang, of course, now too, so that's massive. If you can just chain all of that up, the damage output, especially, of course, that burst damage that you have, is pretty brutal. Now, still a Web Weaver at the top, and after they've done some damage in the middle, they're now hoping to damage one of the forts. Maybe even take it down. I mean, the blue team is not defending very eagerly here. They're slightly ahead in experience, but not doing anything. So this is with the first objective. 1 fort already destroyed. And Falstad, 2 stacks away from getting the quest reward. Thrall, by the way, has locked in the first one already. So mana problems, not something that we are expecting on his side anymore. He's actually nearly done with his second reward too. Bit of a dive into the middle. Yeah, Falstad ready. And there's the first quest reward for the bird. So more damage now on Falstad's side. And we are a little bit early in the game. We haven't hit level 10 yet, but let's look at the damage. We have 10,000, 11,000 for Sylvanas. Nearly 10,000 for Falstad. Junkrat also on 10k. So, yeah, damage is slowly coming in for the two teams here. With, of course, Sylvanas in particular working the baseline stats now too. She's been having a huge impact in some of the previous games as well. So, we might see that again here. Currently, though, my eyes are a bit on Thrall and Falstad. The two of them just like stacking like madmen the entire time, and with Thrall just with Falstad just recently getting his first reward, I'm curious to see how much damage he can deal here. But yeah, 10 is nearly ready. 10 is nearly done on both sides. Only one turn in so far. Could of course see more. Inequalis has 75 gems in their hands. Plenty for web weavers. Yeah, and they get heroics. So we get Cocoon. Both teams now with heroics. And the red team is turning in again. Even if it's just to safeguard the gems that you have, that makes it work. And we get Rocket Ride! Alright! Junkrat is gonna ride the rocket here as we have Leap for Sonya. But yeah, Junkrat is gonna be fun with this. Mind Control just after they drop the light bomb on him. Here comes the Leap. They go for the rocket that's gonna hit hard, and it's a kill on Sonya. Ancestral keeps Falstad in place. Sonya gets murdered by Junkrat, who's immediately zipping back onto the lane. Very nice. And now the web weavers for the blue team. Inequalis gets their own. So yeah, once again, chance for some burst damage. Falstad coming in and didn't have the cooldown. Drops it at least against Thrall, at least some, but the blue team still totally fine here. Both teams now with 5 on the map as the objective drops down, and we're gonna see the Avengers defend. Falstad has taken over as the top damage in the game, so with the first quest reward already unleashed, you can see the impact in the situation that we have unfolding in front of us. He's starting to pull ahead of Sylvanas and also of Junkrat. Could still use situations like the one here in the middle to get more stacks for himself, and does exactly that. 52. So he is now 28 away from getting another massive boost in damage. So yeah, this is going to be big. Falstad, if he is able to keep that up, will have a mad impact in those team fights. Sonya against Thrall down at the bottom of the map, fighting against each other here. The bird with the attack in the middle. No frequent flyer build again for Falstad, just noting that real quickly. But the defense has so far done well. They're rotating towards the top now to deal with the next web weaver. And Thrall still all alone down at the bottom as Sonya moved towards the middle. And has actually leapt in here. Used Leap for that. And now Stardust is in trouble. And survives somehow. Makes it, and Junkrat, he gets the connect. Drops half of the HP from Rhaegar, but of course needs some time to make it back into the fight now. Yeah, Sundering being used. Nothing really accomplished with that. Ophia against Falstad. But needs to be careful. No, it's dropping a bit low on mana too, and didn't really get a whole lot of stacks and connects in that last fight. So for Falstad, this is getting a bit sketchy. Plenty of gems, by the way, on both sides. And there's another turn in. I mean, Junkrat had so many gems that he could turn in by himself and get the second web weaver wave for Inequalis. So they're getting 2 in a row now that they're going to use to attempt and crush the Avengers. 20,000 damage for Falstad, still a bit ahead of everyone else. But this second turn could become a mad problem now. Balgor is getting caught at the top. So yeah, Sylvanas is dead. If they at least can get Junkrat, that would help a lot. But nope, Junkrat is able to escape thanks to the help of Anduin. Now we got level 13 talents on the blue team side, and the red team is playing catch-up. They're playing catch-up and trying to get there. It is getting really difficult, though. Falstad is going to have huge synergies with 13 and 16. I assume he's going for some cooldown reduction on this. But for now, he's at the 62 stacks, and he can definitely accelerate things, but he needs the XP and the extra talents. The red team is losing the fort in the middle of the map, and Thrall has already taken down the fort at the bot lane. So structures are starting to fall apart quickly on the Avengers side, which makes this dicey. Yeah, there's the flip. Nice. Stun. Yeah, and then Nubarak is still able to get away. Whoa! Falstad, that level 4 talent makes him close those gaps very, very quickly. Now, he's at 70 stacks now. Getting there. 10 until he has the next damage increase. Remorseless is in, and Falstad, as expected, went into the Flow Rider. So now we got the ability recharge in here, which should allow him to get those out a bit faster. Birdie still there. Haven't gotten any stacks in the last encounter. Has at least locked in 1 now. But they are starting to force that fight again. Sleep, baby, sleep! And 1 more hit is all that they're getting. Mind Control, on the other hand, might be a problem for an Ubrok. Sonya, by the way, is just turning in. Sonya's getting a turn in for them. Sonya's turning in, but there's the big hit. It's a triple. Those Web Beavers are not going to do anything for you now. The top fort is gone. That was a work of art. The ult from Orphea set them up. Look at this. First the stun, Orphea's ult with a perfect angle, and then the follow-up from Junkrat, and they just blew all of them away. 6 kills to 1. Webweavers are now on the ground and will be destroyed within seconds because there's just nobody that can do anything about it. So that timing didn't work whatsoever. Sonya turned in while the team was fighting. They thought they had it, and they were very quickly proved. One of the problems is obviously that Falstad dying also cost him 8 stacks. So that's one of the issues that he has at this point. 8 stacks down, which makes catching up a bit more annoying. We're having, again, Thrall with 76. So he's short of the 3rd reward, the Pinnacle reward, but he already gets the additional bounce and the extra charge. I still hate this talent with a passion, by the way. Debilitation is just such a trash talent compared to Epic Enter. Epicenter is just too good. It's just what it is. Epicenter is amazing. So, yeah, the Nubarak here with, no. So only theory crafting where that talent shines. But I actually think it was the last time that we saw it, also taken by Inequalis. So, I mean, they're sticking to what they know, what they're used to. Falstad back to 72 stacks. It's flying down to help out Sonya with the camp. The team pushed a bit in the middle, but level 16 is still missing. And Sylvanas, with 197 stacks right now, she's 15 shy of getting her next quest reward. Thrall, obviously, on 16 has also gone into Thunderstorm, fully getting the synergy with the level 1 talent. But the next turn in is coming, and it's gonna be blue. Blue Webweavers, once more. Still 2 forts standing for Inequalis. They are ahead in structures, they are ahead in experience by a significant margin. It's just a question of what's going on with the level 16 talents once that the red team has them. Because they're going to get them now, but they have to try and fight this one out. Yep. 16 is ready. It's going to be good for Sylvanas with Evasive Fire, and we got the Airy Gusts now as well. So that's going to be huge, the synergy that they're getting. And Ubarak! Face checking the bush a little bit too hard, but is totally fine here. Dives in. Falstad still absolutely fine. And there's the light bomb. Also, Junkrat again. Pressure on Rega. Ult from Orphea. The gust. And they're safe for now. Everybody went full pirate in the last fight. Arrgh, with the exception of Thrall, who didn't use his ult. Everybody else hit the button quickly and hard. Lucky Tiger, not so lucky. Everybody else trying to save him, which means they're all gonna die. Stardust about to go down. Collects a few more gems. Has 43 at the end, which is what the red team just lost. So yeah, that's a bit of a disaster. Falstad gets his damage, by the way. So he's at 82 stacks now, but he's missing the rest of the team. So not a whole lot that he can do. He's trying to at least take the Webweavers out. 35,000 damage for him. Orphea is a bit higher. He gets good damage out with this, but we are now seeing Inequalis push for the first keep of the game, straight through the middle. Running it down mid and taking down that keep. Sylvanas is defending down here, doing the best she can. They're obviously not willing to defend the middle. They're just sacrificing the keep. The call has been made. Dying here would have been more of a problem. But a big issue is that they just lost this many gems. Now, let's see how they're playing this. That's a ballsy move. 16 versus 16 talents, and they decide that's the best move to go for the boss. That can backfire quickly. So they abandon that idea as they should. But yeah, that's a good recipe of overstepping and losing your advantage. So Falstad can get the damage out. Nice jump, and Junkrat didn't get anything. Junkrat didn't get anything, but he will be back in a moment. For now, it's a 4 versus 5 though. And obviously, the red team has to take some risks, right? I mean, they need to either force fights, go for the boss. You got to do something. You can't just wait until the blue team has level 20. Got to make a choice here. So there's not a lot of gems to turn in. I'm actually curious how they want to play this. I would not fault them for trying to go for the boss. It's risky. It's asking for a fight. But what else are you going to do? Wait until your opponent, who already has more gems than you do, has Storm Talents. With a 2-level gap between the teams. I don't think that's the play. Right there, they could try and make some moves. Yeah, Sylvanas gets attacked after she drops her ult. Instantly, look at this, Orphea. Murdering them. Yeah, that fight is likely going to be the end of the game. I can't believe they actually go for the boss. Boys, the core is right there. You got 40 seconds. You have a keep down here that he can take down. You don't need the boss. Even if you just try and take a keep down. Take the keep first and then go for the boss. So they decide that they're trying to play it super, super, super safe. And yeah, they get the boss, of course, with ease. They have level 20 talents now. They might also get another turn in. They have 56 gems. Could even argue they maybe should turn it in. But there will be a few defenders. The keep at the bottom is still standing. Falstad's still holding on. Likely that's the end of the game anyways. But they could have just gone for the mid lane. With a 45-second gap at that moment, it would have been more than enough, I think. Top keep is nearly destroyed as the boss arrives. Junkrat is keeping them all away with one barrage after another. I mean, there's grenades just everywhere. Light bomb from an Uberak. He didn't dive, though. Yeah, gust attempt by Falstad. Didn't give them too much space, but that boss is still murdering. Going straight for the shield now. Bot lane, mid lane, all getting attacked. And the blue team, they want to take it 2 in a row. The leap away from Junkrat's ult. But this still looks like it's going to be the conclusion. Or is it? Because the blue team is actually very hesitant here. Guys, you have a level 20 advantage. I don't think they got the memo. They have a level 20 advantage. They got the core down to 50%. They had a boss on the core and they just retreat? Alright. Again, they're so far ahead and they have enough gems for a turn-in that I would be shocked if they don't win the map. But this is how you lose games. If you are this heavily ahead, it's not overextending yourself to try and push for the core a little bit when you have level 20 talents. You normally need to take advantage of situations like this when they present themselves. Because if you don't, then you give your opponent a shot back into the game. As it happens, the Avengers are so far behind that it's going to be extremely difficult for them to get there. But not impossible. So now we have the Web Weavers coming down. If somehow the red team defends this, they can fight back. You win a team fight right now, death timers are high. Falstad has more damage. Sylvanas is slowly getting there. There is some scaling going on. And once that they have level 20 talents, this is going to play into their cards even more. Can they defend here? That's the big question, of course. There's a huge question mark on that one. Probably not. But if they somehow pull it off, there's a chance. Now we have Storm Talents for them. Withering Barrages in. We get the Wind Tunnel. Ignore Pain. Sylvanas is dealing with the top. Stardust is maybe going a little bit deep on this. There's the Light Bomb. Stayed in it way too long. Has to leap out. Got the Ancestral too. Web Beaver's still there. And Rhaegar is rushing back. Falstad with the Gust. Straight into the corner. They're trying to go and take not only the Web Weavers out, but also force a fight that they can possibly win. There's still a couple of Siege Giants. Falstad with damage. They go for Thrall. He's safe. And the bird is too low. They're losing too much ground here. They are too low already. Falstad down. The barrage connects. And that is the end. 15 kills to 1. 16, 17. Basically a 5-man wipe, not quite, but it is a 2-1 victory for Inequalis as they tweak 2 maps in a row and defeat the Avengers on Tomb of the Spider Queen. GG.